Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video we'll be looking at the Scorpion CX-5. This is an American made lock that has some potential but does not really live up to it, unfortunately, because it has some nice security features but they are not very well made. So let's take a look what's inside. Here's our key. You can see our bitting for 6 top pins and also a sidebar track. So indeed this lock has sidebar. You can see the bitting height in here. This lock has 5 springless side pins, as you will see in a short while. Here's our housing, and unsurprisingly there's a groove milled for the sidebar. Other than that, nothing too interesting about it. It's grab screwed, so here's the chambers for the grab screws. Let's take a look at the oopsie, nothing too serious, I hope. Yeah, one wafer a little bit displaced. Hopefully it was this one. Okay, sorry for that. Here's our plug. So the keyway is pretty wide open, nothing too difficult. Sound rear protection up here, and the sidebar slot. So this is the place where the sidebar goes, and 2 little slots for its springs. Here's our 5 little chambers for the side pins. So there's the place where they are, and chambers for 6 top pins. And as you can see, we have countermilling here. This one is basically made for driver pins that are very similar, if not the same, or they're actually similar, not same, like gin bottle spools. So this is a gin bottle spool milling, or at least very similar to it, and it is made to catch thin lips of specialized drivers that I will show in a little while. So here's the bottom part of the plug. Here's the mentioned chambers for the side pins, and they stick out in the keyway like this with their tiny little knobs. So talking about the side pins, this is one of them. So this is this little knob that interacts with the key, and we also have a through gate on it and a little false gate right under it. Maybe from this angle it will be better to see. Right, so every side pin has one through and one false gate, if I'm not mistaken. Unfortunately, I have to say it right here, these false gates do not do much. They're not very effective, and I could barely notice them being there. Here's our sidebar, little spring. So it's just a piece of metal, nothing interesting about it. So this is what interacts with the through gates on the side pins. And for our main pins we have, as I said, these gin bottle spools. So you can see that they have a narrowing on their bottom and a really sharp lip in here, which is designed to catch on the countermilling I talked about. So as you're picking the lock and you lift this driver pin a little bit higher, this lip that on bottom basically gets stuck in this milling, in this pocket that is milled into the side of the chamber, and in theory you should be unable to push it any further without manual counter rotation. Unfortunately enough, this lock is heavily mastered. As you can see, there are many master wafers present in here, and that basically prevents any, or drastically reduces any need for float picking or any kind of specialized skills for these gin bottle spools, because you have two shear lines, right? So what makes what do these master wafers do is they really fuck up the feedback like a lot. So in a way they do make picking this lock easier, but at the same time they make it really like weird, because the feedback is just off. It's very not non-existent, but very mute, I would say. And I still had to float pick a little bit some of these jeans. I think two of them were like I had to get out of the milling, but other than that I only pushed most of these pins just up. Some of them gave me multiple clicks, some of them dropped a little, but honestly this master wafers just reduced the whole picking experience, let's put it like that. It was different, it was challenging, but it was not probably what it should be if they were not there. And I think that many of these scorpions are mastered. At least I talked about a little bit with some people, and I think they are usually come mastered. So that's a shame, because these jeans do not get the chance to live up to their potential, right? Anyway, to pick this lock, I use just top of the keyway tensioner. No need to be snug fit, just barely. To pick the mainstay, I use this Jimmy Long hook, which I am starting to like more and more. These hooks, so just a medium hook. And for the side pins, as per usual, I don't know where it is now, but here it is. Yeah, the multi-pick number 10, your default tool for side pins that are on the left side of the lock. Picking this lock is, as I said, kind of weird, because first you have to get those pins into milling, but then they start behaving like standards, they drop, and you know, I cannot really give you like a universal tip for it because of these damn wafers. But those side pins, actually they do not need a lot of finesse. You just push them up and that's pretty much it. Sometimes you overset them, but it's not that common. I did in my video, but other than that it's just fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this lock picked. Hopefully you will enjoy. Okay, here we go. Let's try the key. It works. Perfect. Okay, so let's go counterclockwise and start with the top pins. So, not a lot of feedback here. Click on 2, 4, something out of 5 as well, 3. Okay, click there. Something out of 5. Click out of 2 and 1 now. Okay, click out of 1. Tiny core rotation. Okay, so now 6 is binding. I think it's like the gin and milling. Okay, so releasing tension, typing on it. Okay, double click there. Let's see if I dropped something. Probably. Okay, now click on 6, more core rotation. Now just going through all these pins so they sort of settle in place. And 1. Okay, click on 1, 2. There's a pretty high lift. Okay, I think we have the mainstay set pretty much. So let's see about the sidebar. Okay, so 1 is pretty loose, 2 is binding, Click there, then equal rotation 3, little binding. Okay, click there. 4 binding as well. Click there. Five. Guess a little click on 5. Actually, 5 still might be binding. Okay. Now I gotta click on him. Sometimes I overset some of these pins, especially 3, so just checking if it's not too up there. Could be. Could be. Okay, so I actually pushed 3 a little bit lower and the lock opened, so perfect. Okay, so it's time to get it. Okay, autofocus. This works. Perfect, so we need this and we have some grab screws, so why not start with the main stick. So there's our grab screw and everything goes out. Okay, I will rearrange this later. So there's one. There's 2. Three, 4. Alright. I want to get these wafers mixed up. 5. Six. One. Not subdued. I think the core is rotating already, so probably things are bound there. Okay, the spring just catapulted itself. I know exactly where, so I'll find that later. And we have more wafers in here. Okay, and now to unscrew this tail piece. Where's my key? There it this. Well, let's just remove the plug. And there's our sidebar. Oh, both springs are attached to it somehow. Okay, I won't argue with that. So here's our sliders. Okay, so there's this way. There's one. And 2 and 3 and 4, 5. Perfect. Autofocus, please. Just wanted to show the milling. Okay. Yeah, just for the sake of it, all of the chambers are milled, yes, indeed. Okay, now, what else? I don't know. Here's our sliders. I don't know if it's required to show that they're false gated. Well, they are. Anyway, I need to find that spring. Hopefully I will be able to do that in a short amount of time. But thank you for watching, guys. Here's the close-up. I will rearrange this for sure. There's a lot of wafers in there. And yeah, here's our sliders, sidebar, and some miscellaneous parts. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. And I guess I will see you next time with the next video. Bye.